Please welcome Lilach Weiss, Tel Aviv Sourasky Medical Center.
My name is Lilach Weiss, and I'm the head of the Tech Transfer Office of Tel Aviv Sourasky Medical Center, one of the major and largest medical centers in Israel. Professor Talma Hindler and her colleagues from the Sagol Brain Center and Tel Aviv University invented a technology that can revolutionize one of the most urgent and growing problems for humankind these days, mental health. Looking at the criteria for choosing the winners for the falling wall signs, I could think of no other company than GrayMatters from our portfolio. The science is brilliant, on the verge of science fiction, and the market is considered size humongous and one that needs urgent breakthrough. I have no doubt that the thoroughly thought-through commercialization plan executed by GrayMatters founders will break the wall between mental health disorders and the corresponding brain areas and networks that contribute to such disorders. Thank you very much, and good luck to you all.
Breaking the wall between mental disorders and the brain. Rani Cohen, GrayMatters Health.
Mental health, one of the biggest challenges of humankind today. 1 in 5 in the Western world, nearly 1 billion patients all over the world, and with an economic impact of 600 billion euros per year in the European Union alone. Our first intervention at GrayMatters is for post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, PTSD treatments today don't provide good results. Most patients will not respond, and this happens mostly because the treatment looks at the symptoms rather than on the underlying brain processes in the brain. So one of the most investigated brain areas is the amygdala network. And the amygdala network, what researchers found is that hyperactive amygdala is responsible or associated with PTSD, depression, and anxiety. Now, when researchers took patients into a functional MRI machine and showed them the activity level of their amygdala by using an interactive bar, and then asked them to deactivate or activate this bar, they learned that patients can really control their amygdala and improve their systems. But the fMRI systems are millions of dollars. And what Professor Handler did was to solve this enigma by taking tens of patients inside an fMRI machine while measuring the EEG at the same time. Using machine learning, what came out is a general matrix that represents what we call the electric fingerprint of the amygdala. Now, we can use this fingerprint with a simple EEG machine that costs just a fraction. And instead of the bar, by the way, we're showing an active waiting room of a hospital with angry avatars that represent your angry amygdala, and you have to relax your Amygdala-EFP in order to take them down and practice how to change your amygdala. We did our first trials with 80 PTSD patients, and we got very good results compared to the control groups. We started the company actually right with COVID, so everything for us is BC before COVID and after COVID. BC, we had tons of research, and that was actually the technology was on the cover of Nature. This resulted in 1 patent granted and 6 on the way. We had seed and Series A led by Otsuka, one of the top Japanese pharmaceutical companies. We got 2 grants, one with Harvard, with McLean Hospital, and $2.5 million from the EIC. Most importantly, we started our clinical trial for PTSD for the FDA mid-June, and we finished them. We are now in a quiet period, so I cannot talk about the results. They were good. We got significant We got several awards as well, but most importantly, we actually interviewed more than 140 insurance companies and health providers to see if they match our business model, which is software as a service, and it is very well accepted. Now, we are not stopping with PTSD. We already developed the fingerprints for the cognitive system and for the reward system. And with this, we can develop remedies for numerous disorders. Every bit of data is going to the cloud. We expect to have 9 billion data sets in 4 years, with which we can actually develop objective psychiatry. Now, all this could not have been done without a very experienced team that led and participated in numerous mergers, IPOs, but mostly cutting-edge research that led to products that actually saved many lives. Thank you.
Questions, 4 minutes to start with, and we'll start here. First row, the jury. Yes, please.
How long does it take to train somebody to do this, and do you have subjects dropping out?
So it's 15 sessions, twice a week, 30 minutes each session. And you don't need a psychiatrist or psychologist to do that.
And do you have patients dropping out when you do that?
Our drop rate at the clinical trial was very low, and it was during COVID with PTSD patients, much lower than other clinical trials in mental health.
Thank you, Emai. We'll go now to Geneviève, and then directly to Sabine, please.
So your data is being fed to the cloud. You have 9 million people that you want to... You want to have. What about the ethical issues associated with all that data and my data going into the cloud?
It's, as you know, with the FDA, these are very important issues, and we need to deal with everything that they tell us to do. So all this will be solved, yes.
Sabine, next?
Yes, it's anonymous, so...
Thank you. Regarding to the patient treatment, do they have to repeat it after years or something?
That's a very good question. We just got a $2.5 million grant from the EU, and we're starting a huge clinical trial actually here in Germany in 5 of the top hospitals. And one of the things that we're testing is only 10 sessions to see maybe 10 is enough, and 15 with what we call boosters now. So patients will have several more trials to see how it works. We tested our patients 6 months after, and actually the symptoms improved. Brain plasticity, we think.
Okay, next questions come from here, and you will be the next one, if the jury is not
Can I
first.
ask you about your first allowed patent and what the main claim is? And are you going to have problems with defending infringement, or is actually your technology based on know-how?
So, no, the patent is about the creation of the electric fingerprint. So how do you merge fMRI and EEG to get an output that can...
And defending that patent against infringement?
I'm sorry?
If someone else uses your technique, how do you defend it?
By courts.
Okay, so next question is here on the second row, please.
Thank you. Hi. Really cool. My question is, it's a well-meaning question. Do you have comparison data to other self-regulation techniques, like meditation, for example? Is there an advantage over learning it like targeted, in a targeted manner?
Yeah. So it's an excellent question. Meditation, actually, if you'll put somebody in an fMRI, you'll find out the prefrontal cortex is draining out of blood and not the amygdala. There is some correction to the amygdala. Probably mindfulness is more something like, working on the amygdala, but there hasn't been done enough research to compare them. Mindfulness is a wonderful thing. So
Absolutely. We have another question here at the back.
Yeah, good afternoon. I'm representing Eurosouth Japan, and I'm wondering the Osaka medical company that actually funded some of your research, are you going to have some specific follow-up with them, or was there a special request?
They, part of the deal, besides the investment, they acquired the license for Japan. So they're starting the process there to get the approval to use the system in Japan.
Okay, and I think we have 0 seconds left. Thank you very much for all the answers.